You're listening to an AINC original podcast. We believe you don't have to do life without a compass. Let us be your guide on this amazing journey. Welcome to Navigating Life with Vision Loss.
Hello, and welcome to Navigating Life with Vision Loss. I'm your host, Kim Wardlow, also the Executive Director at the Audio Information Network of Colorado. I am super excited for the guest we have today. I want to remind you also about our Bringing Print to Life fundraising hike that is going to be held on August 12th, and you can register on our website at aincolorado.org. And that's related to our guest because our guest today is Erik Weihenmayer, and his Reach Foundation is once again this year providing scholarships for blind hikers. So we're so appreciative of that. And I'm super happy to have him on our program. He's been on Penn Street's program, After Sight. You may know him best as being the first person who's blind who hiked or made it to the top of Mount Everest. He's kayaked the Grand Canyon. He's an author, a great speaker. I think the first time I heard him speak was in the early 2000s, so probably just a couple years after he summited Everest. He also co-founded No Barriers, which promotes living a lifestyle of no barriers, and he may talk a bit about that. But that includes some outdoor activities and for people of all abilities. And one thing I just learned myself doing a little research on his website was that he was also a fifth grade school teacher and taught English and math and continues to have some educational programs as well. So welcome, Erik. I did not know that about you, that you taught school.
Yeah, I was a teacher for 6 years and I loved it. I could have done it forever, but I got this wild hair to climb mountains. And so I've been doing that for 25 years now.
Yeah. Lots of adventures.
Yeah, lots of adventures in 25 years.
Well, thank you for joining us. Like I said, I know you've been on After Sight, so we appreciate your coming on Navigating Life with Vision Loss. We're in July. We're halfway through the summer. What have you been doing? What adventures have you had? Or I'm thinking you, talking to Penn, I'm thinking you have one coming up maybe in Canada here pretty soon.
Yeah, you're right. I've had a busy year. In January, I was in Patagonia, off climbing at the ends of the earth. We had a beautiful weather window, and that was probably the best weather window they'd had in 7 years. So we got up these two spectacular towers. And even spectacular weather in Patagonia is cold and windy. So that was great. I'd never been to Patagonia before. And then in April, I went to Wadi Rum. I was climbing in Wadi Rum, which is in Jordan. And it's this stunning sandstone formations, thousands of feet tall over the Wadi Rum desert with Bedouins and really incredible culture and things like that. And then this summer, I've been training for a tower that I'm going to go climb in the Northwest Territories of Canada. And so we'll leave on the 9th and fly way up north and take a float plane in and get to base camp and try to climb this giant tower. And it should be fun. We'll see. Hopefully, fingers crossed for good weather.
Oh, wow. Well, you just do so many exciting things. And as you know, this month we've been talking about health and wellness, all aspects of that. And so as we're finishing up and talking to you, we're kind of looking at the more fun aspects of health. So as we look at trying to be healthy and maybe adding some exercise into our routines, just to remind folks that can be fun. It doesn't have to be going to the gym. It can be something that a person really enjoys doing. And just the benefits of being outdoors. Do you see that yourself and with others that you work with? Just not only the physical health benefits, but even mental, emotional health benefits of getting outdoors and doing activities.
Yeah, for sure. And getting outdoors is really important, but also, sometimes like everyone, I'm working and I have to go down to my treadmill
Mm-hmm.
and run on my treadmill, or I have a climbing wall downstairs in my basement or one in my backyard, and just do a little quick workout or lift some weights or do some band workouts or just jump rope. So yeah, the outdoors is amazing, but it just is time dependent, and so yeah,
Right.
I'm able to spend a lot of time outdoors, and of course I believe there's a incredible therapeutic benefit to being outside. When you're blind, it's a little intimidating sometimes to
Mm-hmm.
be hiking and climbing in the rugged Rocky Mountains or wherever you are. But I think it's a great laboratory for discovering our potential and discovering sort of joy of the sensory world around us.
And what do you hear when you talk to individuals who are blind or have low vision, if when they're maybe nervous about being in the outdoors, maybe even doing indoor,
Yeah.
exercise activities that they used to do prior to losing vision? I know we see you doing some really extreme things, but it doesn't have to be, climbing Everest or climbing a tower in Canada. I think, and I know that's part of your whole no barriers philosophy of everyone kind of looking at what their goals are. What do you see as being maybe people's biggest fear of continuing to do the different sports and activities that they've enjoyed?
Yeah, no, I mean, you hit it perfectly because my message is never go out and climb Everest or these giant towers. I mean, I just think it's pledging to live a no barriers life. And like, for instance, our last no barriers summit, Melissa Simpson, who's got cerebral palsy, she had trained for 6 months and she has a lot of trouble standing up and walking. But she trained for 6 months and in front of our whole community, got up out of her chair and walked across the stage. And that was her Everest. And that was beautiful. So it's just
Mm-hmm.
about stretching, just about reaching a little bit beyond what you're comfortable doing. I think being blind, you got to be a little hard headed, right? Because it's intimidating going out and doing things.
Mm-hmm.
I remember running with my guide dog on the bike paths and getting lost and getting frustrated before I mapped it out. Going just to a hotel gym or like a rec center is intimidating because you're like, where am I going? The equipment's like hanging and dangling from the ceiling, and it's going to hit me in the forehead. And you got to use your cane. You got to be really careful. So yeah, I think this should be something as the blindness community that we really focus on more because health is such an important part of people's lives, and if you're intimidated to get out there into the world, then yeah, it's you're being held back, and I've always hated the idea of feeling like I'm stuck in a prison
Mm-hmm.
and I can't break out. How do I break out? So yeah, sometimes if we can find good friends to help us, give us a tour of the gym, or sometimes you just got to be super bold and go up to the front desk and say, hey, give me a little tour of this gym so that I can navigate independently the next time. Or just being bold and going out and joining your rock gym and showing up at the desk because maybe you don't have like a perfect situation of an adaptive program or something like that. You just show up at the desk and say, hey, would somebody show me how to tie this knot and help me get certified? And, you just have to, I think, have a little bit of hard headedness to get out there in the world. When I started climbing, in my 20s, I joined the Arizona Mountaineering Club. There wasn't like adaptive programs out there. I just showed up. And sure, some people are like, who is this guy who's blind who wants to learn to climb? But a lot of people are like, this is cool. And I'll take this guy under my wing and I'll mentor you and I'll teach you everything I know. And we'll take this as far as we can. And I never was prevented from joining just the regular Arizona Mountaineering Club weekend groups where they'd go out and set up a ton of ropes and we'd go rock climb and have a couple beers afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important to get out there for your health and your fitness and your mental health, but also just for your social health as well.
Right. Are there specific tools or technologies that you have found helpful as those things have advanced over, well, even just the last few years, but for sure over the last 20 years since you started climbing? Are there specific things that you find more helpful to you than others?
I mean, not really. Honestly, your basics is your tool, your cane and your dog, or your guide dog, or braille. I think still the basics are important. I mean, I don't really know of any high tech things that enable you to get out there. I mean, I use trekking poles,
Mm-hmm.
and trekking poles are really important because when you're out hiking a trail and you're blind, you got to be able to feel your way. And so, yeah, I'll use two long trekking poles that I use to navigate. I'll lean on them and I'll scan the other one out in front of me and I'll lean on that one. And so it's like having four legs instead of two legs. And then I'll have somebody walk in front of me with a bear bell and they'll jingle that bear bell, or I'll listen to their feet moving, or see, some people grab a pack, whatever the technique is. I find Ira is really helpful, because, hey, if you need a little support getting out there, Ira can come aboard. That's this cool company with these agents that will, you can pull them into your phone. They can see out of the camera and they can help you navigate. Ira is a fantastic technology. But no, really, it's just the basics, and it's just the mindset of not allowing yourself to just get stuck in the house.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think that's important for people to know as well, that it's not, well, now that I'm blind, I'm going to need a lot of expensive special things to be able to participate. That it's still, a lot of those things are just your basic things that you're using in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, and it's also, I think, is understanding what your resources are. So going out and Googling and just learning what the resources are. Like, I haven't taken part in it, but I know there's a tandem bike club in Denver. Just
Mm-hmm.
call them up. Say, hey, I'm blind. I want a partner. And I want a pilot. And I want to get out there with you guys. Um, I know transportation can be a little tricky, but even that is navigable. Or just finding out, your local rock gym, or if you're into climbing and you want to learn how to do it safely, joining Paradox Sports or looking at Adaptive Adventures, some of these great recreational programs that are out there. If you want to learn to ski, calling the Breckenridge Outdoor Educational Center, or um, what's the one I've
Oh,
been
foresight.
Foresight, thank you. Foresight's absolutely terrific. Foresight, I mean, I can't recommend them better. They're incredible. So, yeah, you give Foresight a call and say, I want to learn to ski. And they have these wonderful volunteers. And, when I didn't have friends to drive me up there, I would take a Greyhound that would drop me off in Vail, and my guide would meet me, and I'd go skiing for a day, and I'd jump back on the Greyhound and come back home. So, yeah, I mean, life can be a little more difficult, but you can still get out there if you know what your resources are and you know how to make it happen.
So obviously, climbing is your big focus. What are some of your other favorite activities and sports that you do?
I have a full suspension mountain bike, which I take on trails with friends. And I have a nice road bike and a gravel bike, and I have the typical Colorado garage full of skis and climbing gear, and and ice climbing equipment. So yeah, I do a little of everything. I kayak as well. There's a great river that's in Golden Clear Creek,
Mm-hmm.
and the way I learned to kayak was calling I think it's the Colorado. I can't remember, but it's a kayaking organization out of Colorado, and they will teach you how to do your combat roles. They'll get you in a pool in the winter and help you work on your role, which is so important in kayaking. Um, but Yeah, what else do I do? I ice climb. I have some friends that we get out ice climbing. I've climbed some huge ice faces around the world. And then I just like to, walk and uh, and just get out in the outdoors sometimes. Just kind of hanging out, having a picnic.
Hmm. Well, and I know you have kids, you have family, so I would think you probably get out and do things with your family as well.
I do, yeah. My kids are grown now, so they're 21 and 23. But yeah,
Oh,
we get
that old?
together.
I keep thinking they should be a little bit younger than that,
I
but
feel that way too. I don't know what happened, but yeah, we go up to the mountains together and we'll swim and bike and take walks and stuff together. Up we have a place up near Rollinsville, and so yeah, no, definitely that's important. And my kids both hiked mountains. When they were little kids, sometimes even on my back, I had a backpack that I could carry the kids in, and we would hike a lot of peaks when they were little babies. So
mhm.
yeah, my kids have been at it for a while.
So do you have advice or things that you found worked well for you as a parent with vision loss and taking your kids out, or maybe where you're working with families where it's their kids who have the vision loss and they're trying to incorporate them into their family's activities,
I mean,
or is it all the same?
I think it's all the same. I mean, like, for instance,
Is it just the same as if they had vision?
yeah. I mean, if you're blind parent, yeah. I mean, like, I love the rock gym. Like, I'll take my kids to the rock gym. It's a really safe place. You tie your knots. It's kind of a controlled environment. That's really nice. None of my kids have piloted me on the tandem bike yet. I would ski it a lot with my family. Like my wife would. Let's see. It would be my guide, and then it would be me following my guide, and then my wife. No, then my two kids, and then my wife would be in the very back. So we'd be like this giant line of skiers just moving down the mountain together.
Oh, wow. Well, I know in addition to all the adventures that you have, you kind of incorporate that spirit into some of the philanthropic work you do too. And I know you co-founded No Barriers. You guys just had your hike, What's Your Everest hike in June, and I know we participated with you in that the last couple of years, and that's always fun, and that's for folks of all abilities, so
Yeah.
not just individuals that have vision loss.
Yeah, I hope you guys will come back sometime. Yeah, it's been really fun. It's called What's Your Everest? And we'll hike a mountain. Not a super hard mountain, but the idea for us is hiking as a community, and we have every challenge under the sun, from folks who are paraplegics climbing with different kinds of hand cycles, to amputees, to folks who had strokes, folks with cerebral palsy, folks who are blind, deaf. So yeah, it runs the gamut. Youth with different kinds of challenges, injured veterans. It's really, really fun to all be there hiking a mountain together. And we put people on rope teams, meaning we
Hmm.
say, the five of you are responsible for each other. And maybe there's a blind person or a person in a wheelchair or something who needs a little special help. And that team is there to support each other and get each other to the summit. And that's a really powerful thing. I love this idea of interdependence. I mean, as blind people, we talk a lot about
Hmm.
independence, but at some point, you got to let go and be interdependent. Rely on people. Somebody to guide you. I mean, I wouldn't have climbed Everest without an amazing team of friends guiding me up the mountain, and kayaking. Great friends who were behind me yelling directions on the radio. So I've always thought, yeah, you got to accept help if you want to do big things.
Hmm. Well, and I think that's true for all of us. We may not always think about that, but I think that's true for everybody. We all need a little help every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do the things, I mean, look, I can go out and hike mountains behind my house by myself, but it's a social thing. So, yeah, I
Hmm.
mean, it's no big deal to say, hey, friend, come on out. Let's go hiking together. And here's my technique. I have these trekking poles, and you just jingle this bell in front of me, and I'll follow, and we'll go hike a little mountain together, chit chat, have lunch. You know what I mean? It's like, it's social, right? Like, that's like,
Right.
whatever some people play golf, some people, it's all about getting out there and having connections with friendships and so forth.
Right. I was going to say it's a way also to make new friends as well, to get involved in different groups
For
with
sure.
activities you're
I mean, I know the
interested in.
Colorado Mountain Club is really open to people with different kinds of disabilities just showing up, giving a call and showing up to a meeting. And you make tons of friends, and people are psyched to walk and hike and climb with you.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, enjoy a meal afterwards or something like that too, just to expand that social activity.
Yeah, that's what life's about, right? It's not just about, climbing hard or biking hard. It's about the social piece that provides us.
Definitely. Do you have a favorite meal after you've done a hike or done an
Well,
adventure
I don't
when you
eat a
get
lot of
back?
red meat, but sometimes after a big giant hike, I'll eat a cheeseburger. That's my I cheat a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah.
No, I think also that's another good thing is that when you're out there pushing it and recreating hard and burning calories, it gives you license to eat a normal meal and not feel guilty.
That's true. Or use it as an excuse to have a treat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, if you've hiked all day or hiked a 14,000-foot peak or something like that, then yeah, guess what? You can have some cheesecake and it's not going to kill you.
Exactly.
And then you mentioned No Barriers. Our summit is coming up August 25th through the 27th, and that's at Copper
Right.
Mountain. And I think that's really fun too, for people to come out and expose themselves to all kinds of different opportunities, whether they be outdoor activities or cool innovations or just ideas and techniques and technologies. But that on and that extravaganza, I mean, we're trying to avoid calling things adaptive. You know what I mean? Because everything's
Mhm.
adaptive. Like what
Right.
isn't adaptive, right? So, but we'll have kickboxing and climbing and archery and fencing and all kinds of fun opportunities for people of all abilities to come out and enjoy themselves and hike mountains. And we'll do adventure races, and we'll have incredible speakers and films and entertainment, and people talking about how they broke through barriers in their life to achieve what they've achieved. And so it's really like a wonderful celebration of what this no barriers life can look like for individuals, for teams, for families.
It's a great opportunity. I know I've gotten the last couple of years. It's a great opportunity to try out something that maybe you've been interested in and you just weren't quite sure, or you weren't quite sure how to connect, with a group. And it's a great way just to test things out and see what you like, because over a couple of days you can try several things out and just have some variety.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, like we'll have trekking poles there and bear bells and things like that for people to try out. You know what I mean? If you have another disability, we'll have other technologies there that may assist you. Yeah, so it's a wonderful opportunity for people to go out and test how they're going to adapt into the outdoor world.
Mm-hmm. Are you able to give a preview of the speakers this
Oh
year?
yeah,
Because I know they're always phenomenal.
yeah, they are. We have J.R. Martinez coming back, who won Dancing with the Stars. He got burned up pretty bad in Iraq, but didn't stop him from going out and pursuing his career and love of dancing, and he won Dancing with the Stars.
Wow.
Pretty cool. And Kyle Maynard's going to be there. Kyle Maynard is he's an arm and leg amputee who has climbed incredible mountains over the years. He showed up to our No Barrier Summit way back in 2011, I believe, and he wanted to join our hiking clinic, and he showed up kind of just spontaneously the day before. And so, yeah, I was teaching a hiking clinic. I had people with paraplegics and amputees and folks who were blind and all kinds of systems that we were developing and setting up. And then he showed up and we're like, uh-oh, I don't know if we have a system for you. So we kind of scrambled. We got bath towels and packing tape and foam, and we wrapped his stumps up, and he crabbed his way to the top of the mountain and loved it. And then
Wow.
he said, hey, this is like a stepping stone for bigger things. Turns out he kept iterating his systems and technologies, and he met a good team there of people who wanted to support him, and he went off and climbed Kilimanjaro, the tallest peak in Africa. And then the next year he climbed Aconcagua, the tallest peak in South America, which is 22,800 feet. So, I mean, so the summit is a wonderful platform to go and learn how to do these things, to kind of set the process in motion, I guess.
Right. And especially if you're wanting to try something new.
For sure. And you can do it in a safer environment with the right people around you.
Right. If folks are interested in the summit, how do they learn more?
Go check out nobarriersusa.org, and you can register, and there are hotel rooms available. It's a 3-day event, so it'll be really fun. I'm doing a cool activity where we're going to show my latest film, which is called Soundscape. And it's about how I use echolocation, and I kind of use visual imaging as I'm climbing mountains around the world. And after that, we're going to break people into groups and do taste tests just with your eyes closed, and things that really tap into your hearing and your sense of smell, and really kind of explore how we can push the envelope in terms of all our senses, trying to awaken all of those senses and not just eyeballs, which most people who can see overly rely on their sight.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening to part 1 of our episode with Erik Weihenmayer and Navigating Life with Vision Loss with Kim Wardlow. It's been such a fun time having him on the show. Please listen to our other shows, After Sight, Blind Sight, and Blind Level Tech with myself and Evan Starnes. And don't forget to check out our website, aincolorado.org. Also wanted to remind you again about the hike. It is coming up on August 12th. Next week, we're going to be joined by Erik Weihenmayer again as we dive into leisure activities and how to get into them. Enjoy. Have a killer week.